Hi, my name is Tatiana and I am 26 years old and I live in Stockholm, Sweden. I was born in Nicaragua and I am the founder and designer for the clothing brand Kyrahi. Kyrahi is a clothing brand based on high quality handcrafting, where design is the highest focus, with a strong ethos to exclude mass production. When I created the brand Kyrahi, I wanted to express my art through clothes, which make this thought very uncomfortable to me. Because of the fashion industry is the biggest climate offender. Today it's not only about creating pretty garments, but to also take the responsibility as a person, as a brand, and as a creator. Therefore, Kyrahi is not only a fashion brand, but also a representative of learning and ethics. The story behind the name Kyrahi actually doesn't mean anything, it's just a random name. So it came about when I was born. My grandmother called my mom to make sure my middle name, where my aunt had decided to call me Kyrahi. However, my grandma heard wrong, so it was Sarai instead of Kyrahi. But since then I have always been Tatiana Kyrahi. I come from a very strong Hispanic family, and we are the first generation of immigrants. So I've seen my family struggle and suffer in silence. And the person that I have admired my entire life is my mother, Rosa. She's a very strong person, and her strength to move to a different country to give her kids a better tomorrow is something that I will always carry with me. As a Latina, food has a great meaning, and we have a lot of pride when it comes to food. And I actually grew up with a mother which is extremely good at cooking food from Nicaragua. But if I have to choose one dish from Nicaragua, I will have to say gallo pinto, which is rice and beans. You can eat it at any time of the day, so it can be lunch, breakfast, dinner. And normally you eat it with a bit of cheese, some tortilla, and scrambled eggs. And I like it because it is so simple, but it's so delicious. As a child, I was very curious, and I got hooked on my grandmother's cookie jar, which didn't even contain any cookies, but it contained needles, threads, scissors, and she used that to repair clothes that me and my siblings accidentally ripped. And every time I saw her that she was about to take the jar out, I ran to her, and I always asked her if I could please, I just begged to please hold the needle, or if I could try to sew my own, but she always said no. But until one day she said yes, and I remember the needle laying on my hand palm, and it was very special just to know that this little needle you can create and sew things. When I was about 6-7 years old, that's when I really started to create stuff and to experiment more, and that was when we moved to Sweden. So I ripped for example, my mother's dresses, accessories, to make clothes to my little Barbies and brats, and it was a mess. I got grounded a lot of times because my mom had found holes in her dresses, and she was always afraid that I go to bed with needles, which I did. I slept on a lot of needles. And so when everything happened during that time, I had like a little routine. So I went home from school, I ate dinner, I did my homework, and then I ran to my room to start creating stuff and start to sew things to my dolls. But when it was explained to me that fashion design is a profession, I was about 10 years old on a walk to the grocery store with my dad, and I asked him how come everything is somehow planned? Who decided that the apartment buildings should look like this, or who decided that the sidewalks should look like this? And he said that everything we see is design. It is created and sketched by someone, and that it comes from that person's creativity. And from that I went very quiet, and I didn't say anything until we went up to the apartment, and I dared to ask him, but who decided, what are people called that makes clothes? And then he said to me, they are called fashion designers. And that's when I understood that the things that I was doing in my bedroom was maybe fashion design, and that I could live with that in the future. Going forward, I will share exciting projects that I have done with people that inspires me and that supports me, but also information about the fashion industry, because Kyrahi is not only a fashion brand. So I hope that you are interested and can follow me through this journey, because this is just only the beginning.